Welcome back to our pre-K and TK classroom. My name is Miss Lara and I'm going to be your teacher today. Hello! This week we're learning all about kindergarten. Have you heard someone tell you, now that you're done with pre-K and TK, you're going to be going to kindergarten? And have you felt a little scared about that? Oh, I know how you feel. I get scared sometimes too. But you don't have to worry because kindergarten is a fun place where you'll sing songs, read books, and do projects just like we do here in our classroom at PBS. So let's start our learning off with a song. This is a hello song and it involves bread and butter, which I love, and marmalade and jam, which are also favorites. And it includes a rhythm. We're gonna tap like this and clap, tap and clap, tap and clap. Are you ready to sing our hello song? Here we go. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as quiet as we can. Ready? Hello. Did you even hear it? Another one. Now we're going to do it super loud. I'm getting my ears ready. I know it's going to hurt. You're going to be so loud. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as loud as we can. Hello! Oh, that was really loud. Now let's try it slow, like a snail. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as slow as we can. Here we go. Stretch it out. Start here and in here. Really stretch. Hello. Oh, that was a very slow hello. Now we're going to do it super fast, like ninja fast. You're not even going to be able to hear the word. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as fast as we can. Here we go. Hello. That was pretty quick, right? Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as high as we can. Hello. Last one. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as low as we can. Hello. We're so low, it's way down there. I hope that you enjoyed that hello song and singing and clapping with me. Now it's time to read our story. Now I always like to preview the vocabulary before we read. Usually I would have pictures and hand movements to go with it. So let's see our 3 words that we're going to need to learn in order to hear our story and understand it. See, the first one is tardy. That's a big deal when you go to traditional school. Being tardy means you are late. You are not on time. And can I tell you something? Miss Laura's always tardy. I know. I need to work on that. The next word is actually 2 words, and this is also a big deal in the classroom. It's pay attention, and you might hear your teacher say, "Class, you need to pay attention." But what does that even mean? It means you need to focus your attention on something and you need to forget and ignore about all other things. Now in early learning, we have a trick. We say we use our attentoscopes, and our attentoscopes are just our hands like this, and we put them to our eyes and we focus on one thing, and our fingers kind of block out everything else. So when someone tells you, pay attention, just use your attentoscope to focus. Our last word is a fun one. What you're gonna love about school is recess. Who doesn't love to go outside and play? And that's exactly what a recess is. It's a break. So you get to run, and you might even get to go on a big slide. That would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? So those are the 3 things that we're gonna learn about and see in our story. Now this story has a very famous, very funny character. You might have read about him before. Do you recognize who it is? It's David. That's right. He has a very funny book called No David that I'll show you in our project place. But in this story, David goes to school. Here he is. Do you think he's going to have a good time or a not so good time? He's throwing a paper plane, so I'm thinking not so good. This is a short book by David Shannon. That's the author. That means he wrote the words. But what I love about it is looking at the details in the picture. So let's read the story of David going to school. Here he is. Who could this person be? Look, she has her arms crossed. I think she's behind or in front of a desk. I think that might be the teacher, and I can tell by her body language that she is not too happy. I hope she's not a mean teacher. I've heard about those. Here it is. David's teacher always said, "No, David. No yelling, no pushing, no running in the halls. No, no, no." And there's a lot of no sometimes in school. And those are rules there that teachers use to keep you safe. Because imagine if you're running down the hall and you fall, it's not safe. You can get hurt. Or if you're yelling, you might not hear important announcements that might keep you safe. And if you're pushing, well, I don't even want to think about what would happen if you push somebody. Bad news. There's David walking through the door. Look at his smile. It looks like he knows he's done something wrong, and he's like, hee hee, trying to get away with it. Let's see what the words say. David, you're tardy. Remember, we talked about that word tardy? It means you're late. There's David in the front of the class, and what kind of face is he making? A silly face. There's his tongue. Put your tongue back in, David. Oh, that is being silly and interrupting the class. So guess what the teacher says? Sit down, David. Oh, and she says it like she means it, because this line with the dot is an exclamation point. That means you say something like you really mean it. Look at what David did. He has gum all over his mouth. Oh no, he's gonna get it in the books. He's gonna get it in his classmate's hair. So his teacher says, don't chew gum in class. Do you think that's a fair rule? Now there's somebody talking, and the teacher wants her to answer the question, but before she can, David blurts out the answer. Oh, I know the answer. And he does not wait for her to answer. Is that very polite? How would you feel if you were this little girl trying to answer a question that David just blurted out? Not very good. So the teacher says, David, raise your hand. That means that you tell the teacher you want to turn to talk. He's so naughty. What are we going to do with David? Look, he put paint all over his hand. He's going to touch the little girl's hair. Oh, I can't look. The teacher says, keep your hands to yourself. He's doing another not so safe thing. Do you know what it is? Take a look. He's standing on a chair. You definitely don't do that in kindergarten. You can fall and hurt your chin. Oh no. Here are those two words that we talked about. His teacher's telling him to pay attention. And the truth is, he is paying attention, isn't he? He's just not paying attention to the teacher or the learning that's happening in the classroom. He's looking outside. He's looking at the clouds. He's seeing a car cloud and a dinosaur cloud. He needs to focus on his work, not on the clouds. That's for later, David. There's everybody in line. They're all lining up to get some delicious spaghetti. And look, he's just walking up, not waiting his turn, And look at the faces of the boys and girls in front of him. They're like, oh, he's just ignoring us. He's just trying to get to the front of the line. So the teacher says, wait your turn, David. Oh no, they played with their food. I don't care who started it. And there they're outside, they're taking a little break. Do you remember what that's called? Recess, that's right. Everyone's gone to line up, but David is still playing. That is a not so good choice. David, recess is over. Now everyone's trying to read their book and do some studying. And what does David decide to do? He decides to bang on his book. Bum, 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 bum. There he is. Shh, David. Now he needs to go to the bathroom. And the teacher says, again. Because really, when you're in school, you really need to use the restroom when you're outside in recess. So you spend all that time in the classroom learning. Now look what he's doing. Instead of drawing on his paper, he's drawn all over his desk. He drew spaceships and pigs with pigtails and planets. That's it, mister, says his teacher. You're staying after school. David, have you finished? Look, his job was to clean the desk. Good job, David. And look, he got a gold star from the teacher. I bet he's feeling very proud. When you do the right thing, you get lots of praise from the grown-ups in school. Yes, David, you can go home now. Looks like he's getting ready to play. So even though the character in our story had a lot of trouble with school, we can learn a lot from him about what not to do and what to do in the end, right? So I hope you enjoyed this story of David and his adventures in kindergarten. So right now, we're going to practice a foundational skill that's going to help you learn to read, and that is beginning sounds, being able to pull apart the sounds in words. Now, I pulled some pictures from this story. We're going to sound them out and try to take apart that beginning sound and write the letter. Are you with me? Okay, here we go. The first one is gum. Now, do you remember in the story that David had a big wad of gum in his mouth? That could have gotten everywhere and made a mess. So let's listen for that beginning sound. G, g, gum. G, that's right. The G makes the g sound. Now, to write a G, you need a big curve, a little line, and another little line. That's a G for gum. Let's look at the next one. It's ball. B, b, ball. What letter makes the b sound, which is at the beginning of ball? B. B, that's right. Now to write a B, you're going to do a big line down, a little curve, and a little curve. Now if you don't have your writing tools with you, don't worry. Write it in the air with me as I write. So that's a B for ball. Let's look at the next one. A paper plane. That's what he had at the beginning of the story. And I was so scared he was going to throw it at the teacher. Oh no. P, paper. P, p. What letter makes the p, p sound? P, that's right. To make a P, it's big line down, little curve up top. P for paper plane. Let's do this one. Crayons, crayons. K, k, k. What letter makes the k, k sound? Yes, there's two. There's a K and a C. But the one we're looking for is the one with the big curve, a C. So let's write that together, either in the air or on some paper like me. C. Few more to go. Spaghetti, spaghetti. What letter makes the sound? S, S, that's right. Air write your S or write it here with me. little curve, and little curve the other way. This one is so tricky. Some people write it, ooh, backwards, and that's okay. Keep practicing. All right, how about this one, a bucket with bubbles? That's what David used at the end of the story to wipe off all the dust. Bucket, bubbles. It's a B, that's right. Big line down, little curve, and little curve. Bucket with bubbles. The next one is a star. Now we already wrote a S sound. So what letter was it? S, that's right. We need lots of practice with that one. Letter S, here we go. S. And last one is David himself. What's David's special letter? D, D. Makes a D sound, that's right. Big line and big curve, D, D. Look at all of our beginning sounds that we captured. I hope that you had fun reviewing some beginning sounds with me, because now we're going to go over to the project place, and I'm going to leave you with an activity that will allow you to review those sounds at home with your family. So here we go. Now, this activity I'm calling Feed David, and look, here's David. So you're going to need a cereal box, some paper, glue stick, scissors, and some cards or some letters that you might have laying around. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a card with the letters, and we're going to feed David the letters because he loves to eat. So the first thing you're going to do is get your cereal box, and you're just going to fold the flap in like this, so it just looks like one complete box. Now you'll notice here that I covered it in some blue paper. So that's my first step. I'm going to grab some blue paper. If you don't have blue, you know what I say, use what you have. Do not go out and buy anything. Next, I'm going to put my box on top and kind of go through and cut out my paper. It doesn't have to be exact, although exact could be a good measurement activity. It depends on how much time you have to spend on this activity. So next, I'm going to glue it on. See, I'm just going to glue my paper on. So I'm going to take my glue stick, and making sure to get all the edges, I'm going to apply some glue. Twist it up. Not all the way up. No, 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 because then when you smash it down, it'll just break. Just a little, just so it's peeking out. And go around, get the glue. And then put it on like this. There we go. Okay, see? Now the next step is to make our David. So you can see that David's face is a big circle. It's two curves put together. So I'm going to take some white paper, and I'm just going to cut out a big circle. Now you can use something else to trace your circle if you want it to be perfect, but I'm just going to go for it. So here we go. I'm going to make one big curve, and then hold it with my thumb, and then go around, and then make it meet on the other side. And whatever your David looks like is okay. We're just going to glue him on right there. Again, just going around the edges. Here we are. Next, we're going to make his ears. Look at his ears. They're such a good part of David. That's how I recognize him, his ears and his teeth. Imagine being known for your ears and your teeth. So I'm going to fold my paper in half and make a big curve. I'll show you in just a moment. And two ears like this. Next, I'm going to glue them down. One and two. So there, David is starting to look like David. Next, he needs a nose. Look at his nose right here. It's like a triangle shape, and I used orange. So I'm going to take my orange paper, whatever it is you have, and cut out a triangle like this. Okay. And glue that on. There's his nose. Starting to look kind of the same. And next I need his hair. So let me grab some black paper and we'll cut out some hair. Now if you don't have black paper, you can use markers, whatever it is you have. Now notice how I cut the hair. I just kind of go down, just similar to how people make grass. Just make little snippets down the side of the paper and then turn it around and watch, it's gonna rain some hair. And I like my hair to be all uneven, but if it's too long, you can just give David a little haircut. There we go, gluing on the hair. Okay, next I'm gonna show you the tricky part. We have to make a mouth for David, right here in the middle. See how I made it and it's cut out? Now in order to make a mouth, I like to use this little tool. It's like a little screwdriver, but you can ask a grown-up to help you with this part. They can use a knife or some other scissors that are a little sharper because it's very hard to get your scissors in there and cut through cardboard. So I just make a little hole, I stick my scissors in, and then I go around to make, there we go, around and around like this. And then I make a hole for his mouth. Like I said, a grown-up is gonna have to help you with this part because it's tricky, even for me, to cut through a layer of paper and a layer of cardboard. Here we go. There we are. Next, you're gonna wanna add eyes. You can color him in like I did over here. And you have a David that is ready to eat some letters. So what I would do, just because we're coming to the end of our sessions and we should kind of know how to do this, is I would take some cards and I would ask our student to write some letters on the cards. Like I would play a game and say, now David wants to eat the letter B. David is hungry for B. Let's make a B. I would have them write it here. Big line down, little curve, a B. Ready, David, for your B? But he's still hungry. David, you're gonna have to eat more things. You can also, if you're past letter identification, you can say a word and have your child write the beginning sound with help, of course. I might even take a word from the book, like think about spaghetti. Do you remember when David ate spaghetti in the lunchroom, but most of it ended up all over the walls because he had a fight with his friend? Now think of that word spaghetti. What's the beginning sound? S, that's right. So then you would write your S, just like that, and feed it to David. Let's do one more, then I'm gonna show you my book recommendation. How about, the teacher, Think about the beginning sound of teacher. It's T. So then you'd write that in, and then you can feed it to David. You can even make the sound as it goes in. So lots of different ways that you can use this activity. Of course, if you'd like to get a head start with kindergarten, you'd always work on sight words too. So hope you have a fun time practicing with that. I'm gonna leave you with a little book recommendation that I have. This has to be everybody's favorite book whenever I go into a classroom. It is called No David. And just like the story of David going to school, in this book, David does a lot of silly things that he's not supposed to at home. Do you think he just misbehaves at school? No. Now look it, I'm gonna show you a few. He's reaching up for the jar right on the edge of his seat, just like he did in our story. Then he gets all dirty. Oh no, David. And there's one part in here that everybody loves. He's running down the street. Oh no, where are your shorts, David? Making very loud noises. Do you think he's gonna get in trouble? Especially if he's playing baseball inside? I think so. And here he is, getting in trouble. Oh no, even shedding a tear. But just like the story that we read, David learns that no matter what he does, he always is loved. So I hope that you check out this story. There are so many other David Shannon books that are great, just like this one. All right, until next time, we'll see you later. Goodbye.